Hey gang, welcome back. We're on to session 2, where we'll answer the question, what are the attributes that someone must have in order to make a good leader? As we go through these, I'd encourage you to really ask yourself, do I possess these characteristics? Better yet, ask someone else, not a subordinate, but a friend or a brother or sister who knows you really well and has the permission and freedom to be candid with you. And then be sure not to be defensive when they share with you. Remember, this is about development and getting better, right? So here we go. Paul gives us some great insight here in chapter 3, verses 2 and 3 of 1 Timothy. He's outlining the characteristics that one must have if they want to be a leader in the church. He refers to overseers or deacons or elders, but these are simply leadership roles, and there's no question that these same attributes are key to being a successful leader no matter what your vocation is. And they're attributes that are key if you want to sustain your leadership for the long haul. Now, here's your application for this session. Here's your takeaway. Okay, we're going to get right into your takeaways. Listen to what Paul says here, and then contemplate how it fits when you try it on. Here's what he says. Now, the overseer, church name for a leader, must be above reproach, meaning there's not a bunch of stuff in their lives that would call into question their integrity to lead. Next, he says, they must be the husband of one wife. Well, you don't have to be married to lead, but if you are married, you can only have one wife, okay? Or if you're a woman leading, you can only have one husband. Is that okay? Are we all good with that? Okay, good. Next, he says, be temperate, self-controlled. So, for example, if you've got serious anger issues, that's going to impede your ability to lead. Get help. There's lots of great programs out there, recovery programs that involve anger and many other attributes that we can seek help with. So do that. Don't let your anger affect your life and certainly affect your ability to lead, which it will. Next, he says, respectable. Again, not a lot of stuff going in your life that would call into question your integrity or your decision making. There's wisdom there, and folks respect you. Hospitable. Hospitable. It means you enjoy serving people. Next, he says able to teach. So showing folks the way is not frustrating to you, but something you welcome, and your communication is clear and encouraging. Next, not given to drunkenness. Are you held captive to substance abuse of some type? You can only hide from that for so long. I worked in a recovery ministry for years. It'll not only affect your leadership, it'll affect everyone around you, and ultimately can just devastate your life. So if that's an issue for you, again, seek help. Next, he says, not violent but gentle. Again, are you prone to anger? Can you approach a frustrating situation with cool and calm, with a calm demeanor, even when there may be anger inside? Listen, God created all our emotions, including anger. The question is not whether or not you have anger. The question is, what do you do with that anger when you feel it rise up? Next, he says, not quarrelsome. So you're not the one looking for the fight, right? You may find yourself in a battle, but you look to de-escalate rather than being the one to raise the temperature. Even though as a leader, you may need to hit an issue head on. You're not the one looking to elevate the temperature in the room. Lastly, he says, not a lover of money. Remember in our last session, we talked about your motivation for wanting to lead? If you're a lover of money, that'll become your overriding motivation. Listen, money in and of itself is not bad. You should want to do better for yourself, for your family. You should want to bless others. But again, if it's a key motivator, then your cause for leading is not noble. And that'll trickle down into how you look to get things done and how you treat people. Listen, don't make the mistake of thinking this stuff only applies to church leaders. Every bit of this is equally as applicable to a secular leadership role. You know, even if you're not a believer, and I hope that you are, the wisdom and teaching of the Bible is so broad and far-reaching in how it can be applied to our daily lives. Look at chapter 3, verse 8. Again, he says, deacons, again, these are leaders, must be worthy of respect, sincere. We're going to hit sincerity more in our next session on building relationships. But must be worthy of respect to be a leader is what he's saying. In chapter 4, verse 16, he says, watch your life and doctrine closely. In other words, watch how you conduct yourself in all of life's activities and guard what you believe in. That's what he's saying there. In 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 5, Paul says this, keep your head in all situations. Again, here he's talking about temperament. If you're prone to anger, being quarrelsome, wearing your emotions on your sleeve, it's going to affect your leadership. You know, I remember early in my management career, I was leading a group of about 20 people. It was time, I was probably in my late 20s, it was time for my review, my annual review. And in that discussion, my director shared that he really appreciated the fact that whether I was having a good day or a bad day, my staff didn't really see that. That I responded appropriately to circumstances as they came about, but I didn't let personal feelings or outside influences affect those encounters. He contrasted that to one of my peers. And while he didn't name her, he was a professional, he wasn't going to do that, I knew exactly who he was talking about. She was a good person, cared about her job and cared about her people that she led. But even the smallest of challenges would register like an 8.0 or higher on her Richter scale. You know, you probably know some folks like that. Maybe that's you. But unfortunately, that left her team and those around her on edge every time she'd react to something. See, as leaders, we have to be passionate about what we do. We have to stand on our principles and clearly show those we lead how much we care. But we need to do all that without the drama, without running around like our hair is on fire, as if every challenge is a Category 5 storm. There's a quote that says, a man of calm is like a shady tree. People who need shelter come to it. And as a leader, you want people to view you as a resource, to come to you. If you're always registering 8.0 on the Richter scale, they won't. But if you're viewed as a person of calm, a shelter, then they'll be drawn to you. So again, our takeaway, look over these attributes that we just went through. Look at these attributes that Paul has outlined here for us. Where are you strong? Where do you struggle? Get objective input from someone who loves you and be open to what they have to say. Next time, we're going to dive into why it's so critical to build relationships. I'm excited about this session. Why it's so critical to truly care for people. And if you expect to lead them effectively, why that matters so much. Well, all the topics we'll cover will work together, and no one tenet of leadership can breed success on its own. I would tell you that this next topic of relationships, trust, and caring for people is at the very top of the list in terms of building a team of people that will follow your leadership. See you then. Looking forward to it. Thanks.